Hello there. Hello from the road. I am in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. We played a show tonight at the. Where the hell are we? We played a show tonight at a casino in the Valley Forge area, I guess. Hey Dan, how you doing? Good to see you. Um, I have my Les Paul with me on the road because we're on the ground. We're doing East Coast shows, so we're driving to them. So I have my Les Paul. I tried it today at sound check, and it sounded like total butt. A little disappointed. I know the reason why, and the reason is it's because my presets that I had on the Helix are set for the Axis, which is considerably more high gain than these. On this particular guitar, I opted to get low gain pickups. I have the 36th anniversary PAF here, which is a vintage output, like a weak pickup on purpose, and I have the Blues Bucker here, which is kind of like P90-ish. So yeah, this guitar sounds great, but not with the that Jim, and he was doing this the whole time I was playing that guitar, and not like the yeah man digging it. Like he was just like no, that is. Now the dilemma is: do I make new presets or do I? Okay, here's the thing: I'm fighting the urge to put the pickups I would normally put in a guitar in this guitar, and those would be the Tone Zone from the Marzio and the Air Norton. I'm really fighting the urge to put those in, but I think I just want to keep this with the kind of vintage sound if I can. So we'll see what happens. Hey Jeff, oh good day. Hey Jeremy, what's up? So okay, I want to talk about something that happened last night into this morning. I have a sound that I made that on the Helix that okay, so this is the whole story. I was watching a couple of videos from Ola Englund, who's a friend of mine, and Misha Mansour, and what they were talking about is this metal tone thing, where you take like a relatively gainy amp, like like a rectifier or PV5150, pretty gainy, right, and a pretty dark sound. And what you do is you put into the front end of that amp, you put like a tube screamer, uh, not with the gain all the way up, but with the tone and the volume all the way up, and then you put a very heavy rhythmic gate after that, and that gives you like a really cool sound. And a lot of people call it like maybe a gent sound. So that's what I called it. I was wrong, and I was told several times. I kind of got a bit of a black eye over that video, so I took it down, and I'm going to be redoing it with the appropriate politically correct terminology as to not offend the community, which is ridiculous. But anyway, but I'm going to be doing that because it's a good sound. It's a really good sound, and I've gotten a lot of use out of it. And although maybe I didn't get the sound that I was intended to get with, um, by using this method, I did get a sound that's very useful. Um, I use it on so many things. Like whenever I'm doing a demo, I need like a head, or not even if it's not a metal tune, if it's just something like that needs a really driving wide image guitar, that's what I'll use. Oh man, the gain is totally to 11. Actually, it's not. No, no, no. No, Sean, that's a good question. Is the gain set to 11? No, the gain is set relatively low on both units, on the amp and on the tube screamer. But you're stacking low gains, and when you stack two low gains, you get a different sound than just having high gains from the amplifier. Now, I'm usually a fan of high gain from the amp. That's how I usually do it. I usually don't put a distortion pedal in front of it unless I want a different sound. But in this case, doing the two like moderately gained things, you get a really cool, very responsive, very heavy sound, very thumpy. And yeah, so it's weird because the tube screamer, you're basically just using it almost like a treble booster because you have the tone all the way up and the volume all the way up and the gain almost all the way down. So that's the deal with that sound. I'm gonna be reposting it probably next week when I have a little time off the road. We're playing. We already played today. Yeah, I'm sick of it, and I wasn't expecting to get it from the metal community, but I guess I did, and a few people were butthurt over it. But the funny thing to the YouTube page because YouTube's filter gobbled it up. Like I got an email notification saying, someone's like, "Oh, not even close, man. Screw you." And then I went to my YouTube page to go like respond to it, and it wasn't there. And I guess the filter caught up. When the filter snatches up a comment, that means that that person is a serial troll and goes around. Um, if I don't, I leave bad comments unless YouTube takes it away because YouTube is YouTube goes after people who just make misery. But if there's a negative comment, I'm okay with it because like part of the process here is constructive criticism and negative comments are a big part of that, especially if you're trying to figure out if you're just getting feedback where you're trying to figure out what people want to see on your channel. That's not always a bad thing. So yeah, that's gonna get reposted. Eric, a politically correct name like heavy rhythm. I'm afraid to even just use the word metal because someone on the Facebook Helix forum said it best. He said making a metal preset is like walking through a minefield because you have to. It's such it's such a wide genre with so many subgenres that it's too hard to generalize and it's too hard to pigeonhole, if that makes sense. It's like because if you pigeonhole something like I did and say, "Oh, this is a djent sound," then people who are real connoisseurs of that, even if you're just doing like an approximation or using that method to get a sound, they really want to hear it sound a specific way. And you can't call something like here's a metal tone because then it's just like, well, what kind of metal? You know what I mean? Is it power metal? Is it death metal? Is it hardcore? Is it pirate metal? Is it hundreds of sub genres there are? So that's why I'm probably just going to end up calling it heavy rhythm stereo or something like that. A lame name. I, the gent name was more fun, but I'm not going to use it because I don't want to piss anybody off. Because that's not like really my main field that I work in, and don't want to, whatever. I'd rather just not deal with it. So that's my story. Anybody got any questions before I sign off? Oh, another thing I've been working on, I'll talk about this now. I've been on a quest to learn the altered scale better. So, yeah, yeah, Dan, I'll just say, here is preset number 42. Good luck. And that'll be the description, and everybody can just figure it out. Now, I wouldn't do that, but that's pretty tempting. It's pretty funny. So the altered scale is pretty neat. So I'll put say we're in a key of G, right? Okay, so we all know what a major scale is, right? Can you guys hear this? Right? The altered scale, it basically flattens every degree except for the root. It's also called the altered dominant scale. So, because basically what you're doing is you're taking this like the important notes in a dominant seventh chord, you're leaving that and you're using the rest of the scale to hit all the fun notes. So you have it sounds like this. And a really cool trick that I found on a YouTube video, I think that the page is called Jazz Theory, was to think about it like you play a root note, you go up a half step, and then play a minor scale for 5 notes, and then just play the dominant seventh of the root. Another way to think about it is play the root note, go up a half step, play a Dorian scale until you get the root. So that's the it's something I've been sort of subconsciously using, but I would like to be able to um, use it more intentionally than just like, oh, that sounded nice. So, okay, how would you use this scale? So it's made to play into seventh chords really, because what it does is it all those funky flat notes, the it's all the different ways you can screw with the seventh chord. So for example, so the first note's the root, so we don't have to worry about that. The second note is an A flat, so that would be called in the key of G a flat nine. So flat nine seventh chord sounds like this. So that addresses that alteration. Then we have this B flat, that would be called a sharp nine. So that would be. And then you have. Hey, Spo! Then you have the third, that's in there already. Okay, now you have the flat fifth. So we know what that sounds like. You know, there's your, how would I put a flat fifth in there? I guess, whatever. And then you have this D sharp, or it would be, sorry, it would be a flat 13. So that would sound like, and then back to the seventh, back to the root. So it's got all the cool notes in it. So the way you'd use it is say you're playing a song with the 2-5-1. Sorry, what chord am I playing there? That's it. Alright. See, I'm playing those weird notes. Then that's like what song is that? Anyway, but so I'm trying to just not even just use it on jazz, perhaps like per se. I'm just trying to like make that a sound that I can bring in when I want to. I actually used a little bit of it on Last Days of May, but I didn't use it. I didn't use it really the right way because here's the other thing to think about. That altered scale is basically a harmonic minor scale up a half step. So say you want to play over the G7th. Oh, thank you, old metal dude. Yeah, I caused a bit of a controversy with that, and I'm going to be renaming it Heavy Stereo Rhythm, which is lame, but I'm glad you like it. It's free, guys. Who cares? But anyway. Oh, yeah. So, I've been using that sound, so say we're playing like Last Days of May. So that's a little cool lick. I'll show you guys that lick. I ripped it off from someone else. I can't remember who. I think I ripped this off from Omar, who's a guy who a great guitar player who teaches at my dad's store. So say you're in the key of like B minor. You go to the ninth there, and go down to the seventh. So, and you do it backwards. It resolves nicely to that. Oh, old metal dude, thank you. How cool is that stereo thing? I downloaded because I was just like, you know, it's a preset that took me like hours to make, and I'm just like, guys, it's free. Who gives a crap if it's not the right title? But whatever. But I appreciate that old metal dude. It's a fun sound. It really is cool. I wish I had He looks with me now to show you, but I don't. I just have this Les Paul that I won't be playing for the rest of the run unless I have time to, because tomorrow we're playing something called Death Fest, and I think it's like a 5 band festival thing, or I think there's like a lot of bands on it, but we're on a stage with five. That's that. Another cool alter scale lick is one that Brent Mason taught me. It's from Hotwired. So, and this is if you're he's playing this over a D7th. Uh, back to A7th. Love you, Spo. Have a good night. Spo's my buddy. I think I have like a funny idea for an altered scale video. But then I looked on YouTube. There's like 100 of them. But I have a funny one. I wanted to, when I have time, maybe December, before I head to bed. No, it goes, shit. All right, guys. Have a good night. See you next time from the road.